All right, here we are. Welcome to Friday morning even. This is Win the Day live stream. Thank you for joining us. If you're here watching it later, thank you for joining us and watching it later. Today, what I want to talk about is this. It's just a simple reflection of my life. Is that a song?
I put it into Chat GPT and it will
I think it is a song. But anyway, back. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, here's what I'm seeing. The market's slow. Nationwide, it's slow. There are fewer homes being sold than in the last 30 years. There just is. Argument with me if you want. There just is. Yeah, I know there's pockets, whatever. But overall, there are fewer people selling real estate right now, which means there's a lesser lead for real estate agents to help them. Okay, which means there's fewer people earning fewer checks. Okay, is what it is. But here's one thing I know for absolutely certain: there is business to be had if you're out there hustling. Mm-hmm. And it's been hard to hustle, especially if you were here in the go-go times, where I compared it to the moving sidewalk at an airport. You ever go on those, right? You stand on there and they move you from here to there. You don't have to do anything. You sit there and drink your sugar water and just not even pull your stuff. And you get to where you're going. That was the COVID market. That's the COVID market, right? All you had to do is find a buyer or a seller and go cash a check. Mm-hmm. That was then. This ain't that. Matter of fact, I found that you can have multiple listings and multiple buyers and still not get a check. It's that kind of market. It's a kind of market that is hard. It's a kind of market that you don't get rich. It's the kind of market you get through. Because what comes after this kind of market is all those people who were unable to buy, all those people that were unable to sell for any number of reasons, right? Locked in rates, prices, timing, all that stuff. They still want to buy. They still want to sell. They still want to live their lives. Life goes on, except for whatever reason they haven't been able to for the last 3 years, but they're going to want to. And that pressure is building up. So this market is a bear cat. The one coming is going to be great. The problem for y'all and me is we got to get from now to then. The question is how you're going to do it. And if you're going to do it, mailing it in, waiting, half-assing, sort of, kind of, good friggin' luck. Mm-hmm. I see it on my group. I've got one guy. And about 4 months ago, we have a meeting every week. And I'd ask him, okay, what are you seeing? I'm grinding. I'm talking to people. Nobody's doing nothing. I'm grinding the next week. So what's happening? I'm grinding. I'm talking to a lot of people. Nobody's doing it. I'm grinding. It's like, all right. I asked him. I could say it before he even said it. I looked this morning. He has 5 deals pending sale for right now. Okay. His hard work is catching up to him.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a gal on my team. What's going on? I don't know. I'm talking to so many people. Nobody's doing nothing, nowhere, no how. Oh my God. What's going on? Keep going. Next week. What's happening? Oh my gosh, I'm talking to so many people. Nobody's doing anything. Keep going. What's going on? Oh man, I talk every day. I'm talking to nobody's doing anything. I think she's got 4 listings in the last week. The pendings come. You can't have a pending without a listing. Very hard. I mean, you get a buyer, but it's hard. I got a guy sends me a text. I had 35 listings yesterday. Nothing's happening. Is there something I should be doing? The next day. How many listings? I got 27 listings. Nobody's doing anything. Yes. It's a common refrain right now. Nobody's doing nothing because nobody's doing nothing. Right? Not everybody. A lot of people are locked up. We have fewer sales. We have fewer listings. There's just the way it is. Okay. Doesn't mean somebody's not going to do something at some point. Every conversation you have is a one more chance. And we're just in the type of market that you're going to need a lot of irons in the fire to get something to work out. And if you're not willing to put those irons in the fire or work to get them, well, then good luck. All right?
And you got to work with the willing. I was speaking to a homeowner yesterday, and reality is he wasn't in reality as to his expectations. And, you know, he owns his house outright and he's wanting $100,000 more for it. And I would just say his strategy is, I'm going to wait for a Californian with cash who doesn't have sense to buy my house because they want it. And all right, good for you.
Perfectly fine. I once had a seller told me, I'm not looking for, he told me, here's what I'm looking for, an irrational buyer. Okay. He understood. He's overpriced. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Except that's not going to get a paycheck. I mean, you might as well go buy a lottery ticket, right? Let me just tell you, my house is not worth $2 million, but if you want to offer me $2 million, I'll consider it. Right? Everything's for sale for sure. Right? Doesn't mean you should be listing everything. Because remember, you're going into business with these people. And if there ain't no business to be had, you are incurring the cost, not them. They're incurring the profit if it sells, right? They're the investor into your sweat equity. So be careful of who you're going to go into business with. Make sure there's a upside to the end of the story, right? So bottom line, if you're expecting fair, don't go into real estate. If you're expecting fair, good luck in anything you effort. You can work hard and get nothing. You can absolutely work your butt off and still end up with nothing. But I have noticed over 20 plus years of doing this, the people who work the hardest generally end up with the most.
Yeah.
Way it is, right? Some people get lucky for a little bit, but it's hard to be lucky all the time. Julie said they used to call her lucky. There are times in her life where they did not refer to her as lucky. I'll guarantee you that. But those that work hard get lucky more often. So what I'm telling you is this: work hard. Don't buy into this work smart, work efficient, work all that. Yeah, do that, but work. Okay. Talk to more people, preview more properties, study more markets, tighten your belt more. But I'm already tight. Well, tighten it more. Yeah. Because you need to get from here to there. There's a good thing at the end of this. I don't know when it is. It's coming, but it's not yet. Unless you work your butt off. And I know, because I see it on my team. It's weird. The fourth quarter of last year was a disaster for my group. All right. They came off earning a lot of money. Then they got thrown into a hard market that they weren't quite in shape to deal with. They had money in their checking accounts. They had all that stuff you earn. It's like a pro athlete going into their last contract, right? They were sitting good, but it got to the point now where, well, maybe we ain't as good as we thought we were. My checkbook, I had allotted for a certain amount of slow time, but it's been longer, been deeper, been all that. And my checkbook isn't nearly as fortified as I needed. So now I got to get back to work. Started with the one, now it's infectious and they're all working. I think we've taken 17 listings since January 1. Okay. We went from having like 3 or 4 pendings to I think we have 14 pendings now. Nice. Something like that. Yeah. Those aren't sales though. Those aren't checks yet. Those are promises still. Yeah. Right. But the cost still comes in. The bank is still, you owe me, right? To vendors. When are you paying? Right? Everybody still wants to get paid on time. Yeah, but I got a lot coming. Yeah, awesome. Pay me. It's life. It's life. You're probably feeling that too, right? So what do you do? You work hard. You talk to more people. If it's 35 a day, great. Why not 40? You cut your costs wherever you can. And then maybe even somewhere you can't. Sometimes you got to cut off a foot to save the leg. Right, Mark?
Or an arm to save the life.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes not great, not the best thing. Wouldn't choose to do it, but I think it's better than dead. Yeah. Maybe not every day, but most days, right? Yeah. So do it. Get in there, fight for your business, and the business will come. It'll come. And yeah, that's what I got. What do you got?
Here's ChatGPT's song for you, man. I've walked through fire, I've danced in rain, felt the weight of loss, the joy of gain. Every scar, a story told, a lesson learned, a hand to hold. Through the highs and through the lows, I've found the strength in letting go, and every moment, dark or bright, shapes the way I see the light. It's a simple reflection of my life, every twist and turn, the love, the strife. Through the broken roads and dreams so wide, I've learned to stand, I've learned to ride. Not perfect, not easy, but mine, a simple reflection of my life. There you go. There's your song.
Yeah. 1970s. I can hear it in my mind right now.
I'm glad you didn't sing it.
Yes, you do not want me singing it.
Yeah, I can hear it in my head. I can't remember the band that sang it, One Hit Wonder, I think, but yeah. But anyway, any thoughts other than the top 40?
Yeah, I think you have to, in these times, ramp up. That's one thing that I focused on in this quarter is more open houses, where I was only doing maybe 1 a week. Now I'm doing 2 to 3 a week. More time on the dialer. And instead of just doing those 2 hours, it's 2.5 hours to get, a total of maybe 13 hours a week of just dialer time, having more follow-up time conversations. And so ramping everything up right now so that you stay in the habit and the momentum, because like you said, eventually you will start seeing those pendings and those closings, but you're not going to even get a listing or a buyer if you're not in those trenches. And
That's me. Scale of 1 to 10. How fun is it ramping up?
It's not fun.
It sucks.
Yeah. Nothing fun about it at all.
You guys do me a favor. Think through in your mind. You don't have to scream out anything, but think through your mind all the stuff in your life, the best of stuff, the stuff you like most, enjoyed most, got the greatest satisfaction. Was any of that super easy?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. The best stuff is the stuff you work your butt off for, right? You put in your time, you do your stuff. Same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing here.
It's a lot like the marathon. And I some of you know, I trained people to do marathons, and I took couch potatoes off the couch, and we started with just walking 1 mile. And the fact of the matter is the 0 to 5K, which is 3.1 miles, we took 8 weeks to get to that point. And we encourage people just to walk. What's funny is your whole system, when you're ramping up, is fighting against you.
Mm-hmm.
It is telling you stop. It is aching and creaking and struggling. But there reaches a point when you start rolling, and it was funny with my trainees. We would have what we called fallback weeks in the latter part of our training. And people say, how far are we having to run this week? And they go, oh, it's only 8 miles. It's only 10 miles. And they go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Did I just use the word only and 10 miles in the same sentence? But that doesn't happen until you go through the aches and pains of the getting started. And I think in this market, it's getting dialed super in to what are the important conversations. Mm-hmm. Knowing and finding those people that are willing to work in the market now and are serious about playing in the game that we're playing now, and circle back to those people that are looking for the lottery ticket on their sale. Circle back.
2 thoughts on that. Pub crawl is a little bit like that, right? Same thing, only different.
A little different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a marathon.
Right?
It's not a sprint. Yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
2, keep in mind, buyers and sellers are having their own version of this little mess, right? There's many sellers that would love to sell. They're cramped in their homes. They're unhappy in the property they own for whatever reason, or not as happy as they want to be, but they're locked in, whether it's rate or what else they can buy is not available to them, or whatever. So they're having their struggles. There's buyers out there would love to buy a place, but for whatever reason can't find the one. The rates are too high, the blah, blah, blah. They have their own problems, right? Real estate's a problematic situation for most people right now, but it's not for every people. Some of those people are going to break through and get through. You just got to make sure you're part of them. There are enough transactions where you can make a very good living. Our guy's got 5 pending now. He's probably going to end up with, I don't know, probably 50 to 60 transactions for the year. Because here's the thing about it. Once you get used to doing it, once you get rolling and the results are rolling, it feeds itself. And you almost have to work hard to shut it down. And even when you shut it down, it remains going on its own for a while.
Yeah.
Which is why our people were able to get through 23 and 24 without feeling the massive problem, or 23 and a half without feeling the massive stress. but then it did slow down. And they're like, oh shoot, I got to crank it back up. And it's hard to crank back up, especially the older you get, the harder it is to start cranking. It takes longer and it's harder and all that stuff. You can do it. We're proving you can do it. And it sucks, but you can do it. And now is the time to do it, because I can promise you, as much as I can promise anything, on the back end of this crappy, tight market is a loose party about to happen. But there is a cost of entry, and that cost is getting there. If you don't know where the party is, or if you can't get there, there ain't no party for you. You got to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else on that, guys?
Look, don't
It's kind of a heavy topic.
Yeah, but look, here's the thing. History is filled up with stories of people stopping inches away from their success, walking away, and then somebody else steps into where they had left off, and then they pick up. So don't quit.
We should reference Garrett here. I put it in there. I forgot about him. Garrett's loving the hustle. I see him on social media. He is loving the hustle. That's good. Good for you. I'm inspired by you. Awesome.
Way to go, Garrett.
Spend time for pre-qualified. I don't know what that means. Learn the flood insurance market. Okay, there's something we don't talk a lot about. I like that. It sounds to me like you got burned by something recently. Make the lending make sense. Yeah, total. If you offer packages and solutions, find the wins. Service. He's got 2 under contract and 1 buyer broker agreement being pre-qualified.
Good job.
That's the way you do it.
Way to go. Way to go.
You, bud. That is good news. Destiny, say some more.
I kind of agree with Garrett. You've got to get in there. And I've noticed that about him since, I first met him. He is a go-getter. He is one person that doesn't mind inserting himself in every room and in every conversation. I think that's what you have to do in this market, is put yourself in front of people. You say it all the time. They're not going to call you. It's not their responsibility to call you. You've got to stay in front of these people, remind them who you are, remind them of the last conversation you had, and just insert yourself into those rooms and those conversations that you need to have with people.
Hey,
Lita Millaway on Facebook says, this was great. Thank you. Well, thank you. Yeah. Salima Singh says, love this. Thank you, Salima. We love you. Yeah, so some folks are commenting. What is this? I'm just going through.
Hey, and be sure to post where you're watching from, because you never know where referrals will ping around the country just from going, oh, I saw somebody who is, and they'll come back to a stream, check that out. Make sure people know where you are watching from in the comments.
Mark,
yeah, we're realtors. We should be able to help each other out. No
right.
doubt about
For
it.
the new agents, explain what a referral is and what it could mean for them.
Okay, think about it this way, right? We're talking to people from all over the country. We have people on here from San Diego, New York, I think Seattle, maybe Miami. So that covers it all, right? And then everything in between. Sorry, flyover people, but you too. You're in there too. Kansas City, I think, is on here. Huntsville. There's a number of people that get on here. So if you bump into somebody, they say, yeah, I already got a realtor. I'm moving to Huntsville, Alabama. Oh, cool. Do you have a realtor there? No. All right. I got some folks that are really good, qualified, whatever. Would it be helpful for you if I set you up? I'll say, yeah, if you got somebody, please do. All right, good. And then you share each other's info, and now you get referral fees. Now, here's the thing. Some people make their whole career off of referral fees. Pure and simple, right? They go to events and they get referrals all over the country. So let's say there's a $10,000 commission and you get 25%. That's $2,500. Mailbox.
For how many minutes? For how many minutes?
Well, careful, right? You're getting all those. There might be hundreds, thousands of minutes setting up those relationships.
No doubt.
Okay. But once you got that relationship, you start, sending people your way, you'll get a referral. And like I said, people make their whole careers out of that.
Yeah. So as you go, you should be building your connections and always be finding those partners, because when they do come in, your highest dollar per income, or income per hour or whatever, is in making those connections of referrals, because you've built the relationships, and then you go, I know somebody for that.
I'm gonna do one more thing here. If you take a listing, I don't care where you live or what you're doing. If you take a listing or you run into a seller that says I'd sell if you bring me an offer. Figure out what it the cost to own. If I get a mortgage on that thing, and you could even just go no mortgage. No mortgage, just taxes, insurance, maintenance, and management fee. If I bought that thing outright, or somebody bought that thing outright, what is the return on that investment? So if it's $400,000 and I got to put out $400K, how much do I get back? Do I get $40,000 in rent back? Can I get that? Can I get 30? Can I get 3% of my money? I don't know. If I can get 3 or more on my money, send me a note. I might buy it. I know buyers or investors that will take a hard look at it. So if you run into something, you should look at buying it yourself. If you're not going to buy it, reach out to me. Reach out to the people on here and say, hey, I've got a thing here. If you want to buy it, it'll cash flow at this much down or whatever. We'll do a lot of business that way, people. Promise. And if you guys want to buy something, you want to invest, let me know. That's all I do all day, every day. Let's do it.
There's
all right.
opportunity.
So it's Friday, which means we got to end the week on an up. Okay. So what I want you to do is go through all your leads, right? Even the thinnest, long shot. Now I want you to call them. If it's a seller, you ask them, hey, at one point you were thinking about selling. Is that still the case? Easy, right? And then follow up with what's the next step? There's your follow-up. They're going to tell you either yes, no, and here's what I want you to do. If it's a buyer, if you are you still thinking about buying a house or that house if you have a specific one? Are you still thinking about it? And then follow up. What's the next step? Boom. There's your follow-up. Easy peasy. Follow up with every lead, the thinnest of them to the almost sure things. Follow up and get something moved forward. Move forward today. And then when you get done with that, do some lead gen, maybe even preview a house, do some studying of what's going on with the market trends, and you'll feel good about what you got. You'll feel confident in what you did, excited about the future, and that makes for a really good weekend, typically. It does for me. All right, and last words, Mark?
Hey, run through the finish line. Don't run to it and stop. Just push as hard. You're going to feel good.
Destiny?
I would say people do not know to call you if they don't know you exist. So insert yourself on social media, on the phone, at open houses, put yourself out there and ramp them up.
Love it. Love it. There you go. Happy weekend, everyone. Let's go to work.
Have a good weekend.